Hello everyone, I'm Joy Tagongtong together with Crisanta Lagundi. Today we will discuss Week 9 Extinguishments of Obligations from Articles 1232 to Articles 1267. This discussion will help us understand the different ways obligations can be settled or terminated under the law. Our discussions will cover key topics such as payment or performance, payment by nation, application of payment, and other methods of extinguishing obligations, along with practical examples to make them easier to understand. Article 1234 of the Civil Code in the Philippines. If someone completes most of what was promised in good faith, they can be paid as if they fully performed, minus any damages. For example, if Yana agrees to deliver 20 shares but delivers 15 due to a supply issue, she can still be paid for 15 shares with a deduction for the missing 5. Article 1235 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. If the creditor accepts the incomplete or irregular performance without complaining, the obligation is considered fully paid. For example, if Mark paints Ella's house but misses a small section, and Ella accepts the work without protest, the debt is considered settled. Article 1236 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. A creditor is not required to accept payment from someone who is not part of the obligation unless agreed upon. For example of that is, if your friend tries to pay your debt without telling you, the creditor can refuse unless you or the creditor allowed it. A creditor may accept payment if it comes from the debtor himself, someone with interest in the obligation, or a third person if it was agreed beforehand. Effect of payment by a third person. Without the debtor's knowledge, he can only ask the debtor for what he paid. With the debtor's knowledge, he can demand the creditor's rights, like guarantees or security. Article 1237 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. If a third person pays your debt, they may be either be reimbursed or subrogated to the creditor's rights depending on the agreement. For subrogation, when someone pays the debtor's debt, they take the creditor's place and gain all the rights of the original creditor. For reimbursement, the person who pays the debt only has the right to get their money back, but no other rights or securities of the original creditor. The similarities of the two are they can be recovery. Article 1238 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. If someone pays your debt without expecting repayment, it is considered a donation and needs your consent to be valid. No one can be forced to accept another person's generosity. If someone pays a debt without expecting repayment, it is considered a donation and needs the debtor's consent to be valid. If the creditor accepts the payment, it is valid for both the creditor and the payer. For example, if Yana pays my debt to Sam as a gift, I must agree for it to be valid as a donation. If Sam, the creditor, accepts the money, the debt is settled, and Yana cannot ask for repayment. Article 1239 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Payment is invalid if the person paying doesn't own the thing being delivered or isn't legally allowed to transfer it. For example, if my ate sells my car to Anna without my permission, payment is not valid since my ate doesn't own the car. Article 1240 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Payment must be made to the creditor, their heir, or anyone authorized to receive it. For example, if Joel owes May money, Joel must pay May. May's heir or someone may authorize. Article 1241 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Payment to someone who cannot manage their property is not valid because they might misuse or lose it. Exceptions when payment becomes valid. First, if the incapacitated person keeps the money or property paid to them. If the incapacitated person benefits from the payment. When the debtor is relieved from proving benefit, the debtor doesn't need to prove the benefit if subrogation. the payer steps into the creditor's rights. Ratification, the creditor later approves the payment. Estoppel, the creditor's actions prevent from denying the payment. For example, if Mac pays J's minor son instead of J, the payment is valid if the son uses the money to pay J expenses or if J later accepts it. Article 1240 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Payment in good faith to someone holding the credit releases the debtor from the obligation. For example, if Jason pays Paul, who has the credit document, Jason is freed from paying again even if Paul wasn't the real creditor. For Article 1240 of the Civil Code in the Philippines, payment to a creditor is invalid if a court ordered the debtor to keep the money instead. For example, if the court tells Ben to keep the money until the trial ends, but he pays the creditor anyway, the payment doesn't count. Article 124 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. The exact thing or service agreed upon must be delivered or performed. A substitute can only be given if the creditor agrees, like in facultative obligations where substitution is allowed. For real obligations, you must deliver exactly what was promised. You can't give something else unless the creditor agrees. For example, if you promise to deliver my laptop, you can give a tablet to me instead. I allow it. For a personal obligation, act to be done or not done. The promise act or restriction must be followed. It can't be changed without the creditor's consent. For example, for that, if you agree to paint my house, you can't ask to clean my yard instead unless I agree. In these slides, we can see the special forms of payment under the Civil Code. First, we have the dation in payment, application of payments, payment by dation, tender of payments, and consignation. And it will be discussed later by our next presenter, Ms. Lagunte. Article 1245 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Dation in payment means giving property instead of money to settle a debt. It follows the rules of a sale since ownership of the property is transferred to the creditor. For example, if I owe Siana 1,000 but I cannot pay in cash, I may give my makeup set worth 1,000 to Yana as payment. Article 1246 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. When no quality is specified for a generic thing in a contract, the item delivered must be of fair or average quality, not the best, not the worst, considering the purpose of the obligation. May give an example. If Anna promises to give Francine a sack of rice, she can give low quality rice, and Francine can demand premium rice unless it was agreed upon. The Article 1247 of the Civil Code of the Philippines, by default, the debtor pays for any extra expenses needed to complete the payment, unless the agreement says otherwise. Court costs follow legal rules. For example, if Yana owes some 1,000 in GCash and need to send the money through store, Yana will pay for extra charges unless their contract says some should cover it. Article 1248 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. As a rule, the creditor cannot be forced to accept partial payment, and the debtor cannot be. The obligation must be paid in full unless exceptions apply. Here's the exception. If both parties agree, partial payments are allowed. Second, if part of the debt amount is certain, it can be paid while the rest is settled later. Third, if the contract allows payment in stages, each installment must be paid completely. For example, if Anna owes me 1,000, I can refuse partial payments unless we agree to installments or part of the amount is already due. Article 1249 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Legal tender. If the debtor offers the correct amount in valid currency, the creditor must accept it as payment. Legal tender in the Philippines. All coins and bank notes issued by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas are considered legal tender for paying debts. Limits for coins. Coins of 25 centavos and above is up to 50 pesos only. Coins for 10 centavos or less is up to 20 pesos only. All bills and coins worth more than one can be used for any amount without limits. Um, you can pay 1,000 using only 75 centavos coins because it exceeds the 50 limits. Article 1250 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. This means if money loses or gains too much value unexpectedly, the amount to be paid should reflect the original value when the debt was made unless the parties agreed to use the new value. In inflation, when too much money circulate but goods stay the same, prices go up. Dito yung, kung dati 50 lang yung bilihin nung bread, ngayon magiging 100 na siya dahil tumaas. Ayun yung inflation. When in deflation, when money supply drops, prices fall because people have less to spend. And dito naman, kapag siya ng inflation, na kung tumaas yung inflation, dito naman bumaba yung mga presyo niya. Article 1251 of the Civil Code of the Philippines. Place where obligation shall be paid. First, venue. If you file a case in Manila, Manila is the venue. Second, even if someone works in Cebu, if their permanent home is in Davao, Davao is their domicile. Third, renting an apartment in Makati means you have a resident there, but it may not be your permanent home.
Now, we talk about application of payment. This presentation covers the rules and principles covering the application of payment as outlined in Article 1252, the Civil Code. Now, we talk about Article 1252. Article 1252 states that a debtor with multiple debt of the same kind of the one creditor can specify which debt a payment shall apply to the time of payment. Now, we talk about rules and application of payment. First one, debtor choice. The debtor has the primary right to specific the debt to which of payment apply. Timing. The debtor must indicate the debt being paid at the time of making the payment. Now, we talk about application to debt not yet due. General rules. Application of payment to debt not yet due cannot be made unless this is stipulation allowed it. Exemption. If the stipulation is made by the party for whose benefit the term has been constituted. And now, we have example. Scenario 1. A debtor owned 1,000 payables on September 15 and 1,500 payables on September 20. If the debtor pay 1,000 on September 15, they can specific if cover the debt due on the date. Scenario 2. If the debtor own 1,500 pay and 500, they can apply the 500 to the 1,500 debt. Now, we talk about interest versus principal. Rule: if the debt product's interest payment shall be applied first to the interest and then to the principal. Rationale: ensure that interest does not continue to accrue on unpaid interest. We talk about debt more on use. Definition: if the debtor does not specific payment in applied to the most onerous debt factor in interest bearing the debt in more onerous than non-interest in bearing one. Propagation at application. If debt are the same nature and burning payment in apply to all them proportionately. And now we have strength and limitation. Strength. Provide clear rules of payment allocation. Protect both debtor and creditor by ensuring transparency. Limitation. Can be complex to apply in situations with numerous debt of varying term, require carefully record keeping and documentation. And now, we have critical reflection on AI usage. AI assistant. AI tools were used to generate initial content and identify relevant example. Challenge. Ensure accuracy and relevant required careful view and refinement. Overcoming challenge. Cross-referencing with legal text and business case studies help improve the quality of the presentation. We have payment by session and datation in payment. Payment by session and datation in payment, while seemingly logistic, these concepts are virtual from anyone engaged in business research, particular in understand insolvency, financial risk management, and the mechanism available for debt resolution in the Philippines. We talk about payment by session. Article 1255. Payment by session is a special form of payment when a debtor assigns or cedes all of their properties to their creditor for the benefit of the latter, who will then sell this property or apply the process to the satisfaction of their credits. We have dation in payment or dation in pago. Dation in payment or dation in pago is the alienation of property by the debtor to creditor is satisfaction of the debt in money. We have strength and limitation. Strength, debt resolution. Both provide structured legal avenue of resolving debt, offering alternative to prolonged litigation of bankruptcy. Flexible. They allowed for negotiated settlement between debtor and creditor, potential legend of more articulable and efficient outcome. Limitation. Judicial process. Consignation involves the judicial process which can time consuming and costly. Risk of evaluability. If only the requirements are not meant to consignation, invalid or the debtor remain, we are critical reflection on AI usage. Memorize the legal text, considering complex legal provision into clear and concise definition and requirements. Structure information. Organizing the content into a logical and presentation format. General example. Provide initial particular example to illustrated the application of the concept. Tender of payment. Tender of payment is the act on the part of debtor of offering to the creditor the thing amount due. Second, consignation. Consignation is act disposing of the things or amount due with the proper judicial authority with the creditor refuse to accept it or cannot accept it after tender of payment. Third, effect of consignation. First, the debtor is released from the obligation. Second, the obligation is extinguished. Third, all interest parties are native. Fourth, withdrawal of the consignated things. 1. Before the creator has conceived the consignation or before a judicial declaration that the consignation has been properly made. The debtor may withdraw the things to the sum deposit allow the obligation to return in force. Second, In the creator, authorities the debtor is withdrawal in consignation and creditor loss every performance which they may have over the thing. We have strength and limitation. First one, strength. Protection for debt provide a legal mechanism for debtor to fulfill their obligation when the creditor are uncooperative. Second, avoidance of penalties. Prevent debtor from incurring penalties, interest, or damage due to not payment. Limitation. Strict requirements. Two requirements for valid tender of payment of consignations are strict and must be methodologies followed. Last one, judicial process. Consents involve a judicial process which can be time consuming or costly. We have theoretical reflection on AI usage. First one, summarize legal text. Considering the complex legal provision into clear and concise definition and requirements. Second, structure information. Organize the content into a logical and presentation format. Last one, generating example. Provided initial particular example to illustrate the application of the concept. 1. Laws of thing due define. Article 1264. An obligation which consists in the deliver of determined things shall be extinguished in shall be lost or destroyed without the fault of the debtor and before they have current in delay. 2. Whether the thing is considered lost. A thing is considered lost when the presume or goes out in commerce or disappear in such a way that its existence is unknown or it cannot be removed. The Article 1189. 3. Effect of the loss of a generic thing. Article 1263. In an obligation to deliver a generic thing is the loss and destruction in anything of the same kind that does not extinguish that obligation genius recomprete or generic thing never perish. Presumption of fault in case of the loss. Article 1265. Whatever the thing is a loss in the possession of the debtor, it shall be presumed that the loss was due to their fault, unless this is proof that the contrary. Exemption to the rule of extinguishment. 1. When the law provides otherwise. 2. When the stipulation provides otherwise. 3. Where the nature of the obligation required the assumption of risk. 6. Effect of particle loss or duration. When the loss is only partial or the thing creditors, the creditor may choose between cessation of obligation or it fulfillment with indemnity for damage in other case. Number 7. Impossibility of performance. Article 1266. The debtor in obligation to the shall also the release, where the presentation becomes legally and physically impossible without the fault of the debtor. Difficulty of performance. Article 1267. Where the service has become so difficult to be manifest beyond the contemplation of the parties, the obligor may also be released therefore in whole in a part. Now, we talk about strength in limitation. Strength. Fairness provide a fair allocate of the risk in a situation where performance becomes impossible or exigiously difficult. Flexibility allowed for the release of debtor from obligation where unfrozen even make performance implicate limitation. Strict requirements. The requirements of extinguishment are strict and must be carefully provided. Burden of proof. The debtor bear the burden of provide that the loss of impossible was withdraw the fault. And now we talk about critical reflection on AI usage. First one, extra and summarize the legal concept. Quality identify and summarize the key principle of requirements related to loss of the thing due. General example. Provide initial example of how the doctrine apply the various business concepts. Structure information. Organize the content into clear and logical presentation in font.
The first question is under Article 1234, when may an obligor recover for an imperfect performance? Under Article 1234, if the obligation has been substantially performed in good faith, the obligor may recover as if there was full performance, less any damages suffered by the obligee. As we can see here na kung maka-issue man ay tatanggapin pa rin ito kahit kulang sa product, basta babayaran pa rin ng buo yung napadala. The next question, how does Article 1235 modify that rule when the obligee accepts the incomplete performance without objection? Under Article 1235, if the obligee knowingly accepts the performance, despite its incompleteness or irregularity, without protest, then the obligation is deemed fully complied with even though it was not strictly perfect. Kahit ito ay may kakulangan at ito ay tinanggap pa rin ay ito ay kompleto dahil hindi siya nagreklamo.
Hello everyone. We have a Q&A version for our topic we discuss. First question, how does a payment by session affect the creditor ability to pursue the other asset of the debtor if the process from the assigned asset are insufficient to cover the either debt? Our answer is payment by session involve a debtor assign all or part of their property to creditor to settle debt. Unlike dation of payment, session doesn't fully extinguish the debt if the assigned property process don't cover the either obligation. Our second question, how doesn't the loss of specific replacement asset due the unforeseen impact a company contractual obligation, and what legal defense can the company evoke to immigrate liability? Our answer that the loss of a replacement asset can provide a defense against the contractual obligation, but the company must demonstrate that the loss was truly unforeseen, that the asset was essential, and that it took reasonable steps in mitigate the result damage.